Okay, cool. We're live. So everybody, welcome to Discharged and Unfiltered. Four Army idiots decided to come together and actually do some good for the community in talking about all the different philosophies, frameworks, everything that we have, all the lessons we've learned, all the things that we're talking about from a leadership perspective amongst ourselves, the transition, advocacy, whatever it looks like in the veteran space. We have decided to come together and put these on, I think, once a month for everybody. So JJ actually reached out to me to first start talks about doing this. Then brought John and Trevor in. Trevor and I have been connected for a long time. Everybody here has we're super familiar with one another and just thought, why not? We don't have enough going on. Let's just do more. So I'm going to kick it to JJ, let him introduce himself, let him tell you kind of what his thinking behind this was, and then we'll just kind of go around the room. Tonight is really just about getting familiar with who we are, what we're actually doing. For those of you who are tuning into this on my platform, you already know who I am. I'm here to unfuck the transition and most veteran issues. And then I'll just pass it to JJ, and we'll end with Trevor, and then we'll kind of have another discussion for the rest of the hour.
Hey, what about John? You forgot about John.
Nah, he don't count. Not real.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is JJ Hardy. I have a company of my own, Victory Leadership Coaching. I served in the Army, and I retired at 2018 as a warrant officer. My entire mission in life is to bring people together through leadership, and I really feel like this is a great way to do it, and mainly because we're four veterans who have similar but not similar backgrounds, and we look at things differently, not always agreeing, which makes it even better. And so coming together to talk about the hard stuff during transition, the way that military veterans can benefit society, and all the things that kind of encompass all of that, I think that's a great way for us to give back to the community.
Sweet. John, over to you, brother.
Hey, everyone. My name's John. I'm a retired Army vet myself, owner of Frago 22, owner-founder Frago 22, and also co-director of the Cadence Communities for our veterans. Big stuff there, part of our vocational training facilities. Just like JJ and Adams and Trevor here, kind of the transition was crazy, and here to kind of let it go, kind of change the way it goes, change the narrative around it, and let you guys know it can be better and it will be better. And we're just gonna give it to you straight, right? None of this fluff out there.
Yeah.
Trevor.
So I'm Trevor Greenberg. I am a project manager by trade, and I am the only person on this group who is not a retired Army vet and just somebody who, as I like to say, got out on time served for good behavior.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
Well,
Good behavior, Trevor, huh?
I have the good conduct medals to prove it.
That's literally the easiest award to get.
And yet I know people who did not get them every 3 years.
You mean that 3 years without a DUI medal?
That's it, right?
In the military, that's like the I served 3 years and didn't get caught ribbon.
Yep.
Well, I served 3 years and no Article 15s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or you could still get like a company grade, and they would slide it under the table. It just wouldn't follow you. Ask me how I know.
A local company grade.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, kind of like no record of it ever happening. Like, actually, when I got that company grade, I showed up for extra duty. At first, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" I'm like, "Well, first time I got extra duty." He's like, "No, go home. Like, we're about to deploy. Fuck that." Like,
Yeah.
All right, that's cool.
You could also have what was it, 7 and 7 or 14 and 14, or we take you out to the mud pit for a couple of hours. And
That one, yeah.
I
pick that one every time. Every time.
Yep, most definitely.
So, fellas, we're here to talk about all things veteran, really. Advocacy, Jesus Christ, I can't talk today. Transition out, career advice, leadership, et cetera, et cetera. So I was asked if I would shed some light on something that's been going on. I've been posting about this a lot. It's got a lot of traction. So it's really kind of a quick check on the Major Richard Starr Act. I know that probably affects at least you, John, if not you as well, JJ, and Trevor, probably not, because you didn't get medically retired, right?
No, I did not.
So this is a kind of an update on where we're at with the Richard Starr Act, and there's a lot of noise and not enough truth going on. So the bill isn't stuck because it lacks support. It's one of the most co-sponsored bipartisan bills of the last 5 years. The votes are there, the language is done, and even the DoD's own actuary said they can absorb the cost. Now, I want to give you the number. It's $975 million a year is what this is going to cost. So it's less than $1 billion. Our fiscal year 26 DoD budget is $975 billion. This is a drop in the hat of what it's going to cost for everything. And so the bottleneck, I'm being told, is procedural and not political. It's actually, it says the STAR Act has to be attached to a DoD funding or appropriations package to move. Right now, that vehicle isn't finalized. The bill numbers keep changing, amendment numbers keep changing, and leadership is using that uncertainty as cover to just delay a vote on this thing. So what hasn't changed is the injustice is still real. Combat wounds are still canceling retirement pay. All three of us here are affected by that. Sorry, Trevor. And leadership decides what's going to go into DoD funding bills, period. Quote unquote leadership. I have a big issue with our congressional leadership right now, as I'm sure most of you do. So why does this actually matter? And why am I talking about this pretty early on? Because there are several other influencers on other platforms that are sharing this. There's been a big movement in this. It started with Roger Wicker. We now have 3 or 4 billboards in the state of Mississippi calling Wicker what he is, not listening to his constituents, not doing the right thing. That's all grassroots movements. And one of the admins for our nonprofit PassTheAct.org, which is driving all of this, says he's working on well over 1 million views right now with all this Richard Starr Act. So it has so much traction, it's not even funny. I thought it was relevant to bring this up, to shed some real light on it, and then to get you guys' opinions since you're a part of this. And so why it matters is Congress is up against a continuing resolution deadline. If the DoD funding moves without the STAR Act attached, that's another lost year for us combat wounded veterans. It's not a mistake. It's actually a choice. They actually choose to do this. Mm-hmm. The human cost is real. There's 54,000 combat wounded veterans who are still being hit by the Wounded Warrior Tax. Some of them will die without ever receiving the retirement they earned if this keeps getting kicked down the road. So this bill doesn't need any more support. It needs a DoD vehicle. It needs leadership to stop hiding behind the process, and it needs a vote. So this is kind of my call to action. Get in touch. I actually read a bunch of stuff and made a post about this yesterday. Emails don't matter. Billboards don't seem to matter. What actually matters is phone calls. The more phone calls, every single phone call to a congressman or a senator is logged by its staffer. And so there's an active record of what's going on with the call. So actual phone calls really matter in this, and that's how we're going to get traction. And I want to ask my network, your network, JJ, yours, John, and yours, Trevor, anybody who's listening to this, if you know somebody who's a constitutional lawyer or somebody who can hold these politicians accountable and actually get us what we're owed for this, I'm willing to learn what I don't know. I'm willing to be a voice. I don't care. I will talk as loud as I possibly can about this. I'm not afraid of any of these people. They're not going to do anything to me. They're not going to deplatform me, whatever. So I really want it to be known that if there's somebody out there who has some solutions and maybe is just afraid to put themselves out there, I will be the face of it. I will do whatever you tell me needs to be done in order to really draw as much attention to this and get us what is owed, and hold our politicians accountable, remind them that they work for us, not the other way around. So I'll open it up to you three. That's what I had to say about it. Thoughts, questions, anything like that. Let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, a lot of people probably on your platform do know what this is already, Adam, because you shed so much light on it. But I think it's important to say what this actually is. The Major Richard Starr Act, it gives a retirement, not a full retirement, but retirement for the amount of years served for those people who were either wounded as a result of a deployment, or maybe deployment injuries come back and haunt them later on in their career and they have to get out early. So
yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is. And so it's just basically the injustice that he's referring to is because we had to leave early and that was not our choice, then we are compensated just like somebody who spent the entire career, because that's how you make it right.
Yeah. Yeah. John, how do you feel
Not
about
for
it?
all those extra years, but for what we actually served. They're not going to pay somebody for 20 years that only served 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of thing. So, I mean, I think it is an injustice. We didn't choose to get injured. We may have signed the dotted line that said we were going to go and serve our country. And I mean, we probably
Well, the thing that really blows my mind is, right, so to go a little deeper on this, are you guys getting CRSC?
Yes.
Yes, okay, John. So remember, to get CRSC, they're making you waive your retirement pay. So you can actually get retirement pay if you're medically retired at the age of 65. You start drawing actual retirement pay from the branch that you retire from. However, when you go to get CRSC, they want to go ahead and they want you to waive that retirement pay so that they can give you CRSC at an undetermined amount that they decide to rate you at, right? So they're picking the rating for you. I don't know how I got 80%. I don't know what you guys are rated at. I know for me, it's like an extra $1,300 a month. I know the difference is if we go to the Richard Starr Act and eliminate CRSC, I actually end up making like $1,700 a month more. Mm-hmm. So it's a significant amount of money. The trade-off is, yeah, I'll have to pay some taxes on that. I don't pay taxes on CRSC right now, but even after taxes, the amount of money would be way more significant than the amount of money that I receive right now. And I was a career guy who got medically retired at 13 years. I would have retired last year, would have been my 22, and that's when I would have gotten out. So
yeah. And you know, what makes it really, really difficult is that those people, a lot of people, their careers are ended without their choice. And when you don't choose to take off the uniform and you know, the doctors have to choose that for you, you know, there are so many things that end as a result of that. And, you know, there are so many people taking their lives as a result of transition already. And if you were one of those guys who were in it for life and you had to leave as a result of an injury, and then you have a disability rating in the whole 9 yards, well, what does that tell you? It tells you two things. It tells you, A, that your train is going to leave without you and they're just going to throw you to the wayside. That's one thing it's telling you. And the other thing it's telling you is that whether you believe it right away, some people do, I did, it tells you that you're broken. Mm-hmm. And you may not be completely broken, but if you're collecting disability, I mean, before the military, the only thing that disability is related to is people that are broken that can't work for the rest of their lives. And so for at least a little while, I was thinking this false narrative about myself. And the more I look into it, a lot of these other people that are out there that have to collect that disability payment and they're forced to get out early, they think the same thing. Mm-hmm. Trevor, you sent me a video, I think last week or the week before. It was about 30 minutes long. And that this gentleman mentioned that more than once in his video. I mean, this is a really hard thing for people. Thoughts?
I'm going to be the contrarian in the group.
Please.
Of course you are. Of course you are. Why wouldn't you?
And the reason I'm going to say that is because of my position of not being retired, not being medically retired. Does this change cause a new floodgate of people who ETS'd or chose an early off ramp, kind of like how a lot of people are fraudulently claiming VA benefits? Are we opening up a window to allow fraud for the greater good?
I really don't think it's, at least from where I sit, CRC was hard enough to get. It took me 6 years to get it. There was no clear instructions on how to actually do it. And I did go to the American Legion, to the DAV, to the whatever VSO I could find over those 6 years. And they all looked at me like I was stupid and they didn't know what the hell they were talking about, right? Like they'd never even heard of it. So I don't know that it is opening because, I mean, CRSC took 6 years to get. You had to fill out a form for each condition that you're rated at, send it in, be evaluated. It took forever. And so I think that maybe not, man. I think that they already know who qualifies. That's how we know that there's 54,000, I would imagine, that meet the bill, because there's not that many of us who actually got medically retired.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say that because I don't have a dog in the fight, I try to look at things a little bit more holistically than being emotionally involved in it because it impacts me.
Yeah, 1,000%.
That's what you should. And but there's another part to that. So I ended up getting only 10% when I got my CRSC. It didn't matter how many times I had documented in my past that I had been on convoys that got hit. It didn't matter how many times I had documented in my past where I was so close to an explosion that I had to go over to the doctor. And even though it was on a fob, those explosions, that it doesn't matter. I got 10% for tinnitus.
Yeah.
So I'm collecting a whole whopping $250 a month for combat-related specialty compensation, even though I have over 35 months in a combat zone, showing that I did a lot of combat-related things. And so when you think about screwing the system over, it took me 3 years after I got out of the military to get that. And the only way I could actually get it, because just same as Adam, the VA looked at me like I was crazy. Everyone didn't really know what to do. The Legion really didn't have the best. Well, the local Legion I was at, they didn't really have the best guidance for me on how to get it. What I ended up having to do is I went through an organization that provides pro bono lawyers for people to do stuff like this. And it took them 18 months to get just that 10%. So it's not easy, Trevor.
Trevor, my Richard Starr Act insider is just texted and says you have to have CRSC to get the Starr Act, which should protect against fraud.
Yes.
So
that's a good point, because
which
right now there are
influx of CRSC applications.
Hey,
well, there's a finance benefit you'll have to weigh against this based on your time in service and what you did and kind of that rating, right? I know a guy, he got his leg blown off in Iraq, and they said, here's 30%. And he's like, well, yes, I'm missing 30% of my body, but that's not the point, right? So you kind of, there's a pro and con and a weight to this. So I don't think it's going to be as sought after for the fraudulent cases, So
you're saying he's missing a leg and he only got 30% CRSC?
Mm-hmm.
How did I get 80% over him? I'm not missing anyone.
Yep. And that was his point. Like, hang on, here's my prosthetic. What do you want from me?
God, dude, that's
and again, this kind of goes back into
Adam,
that whole
you're missing
care, right? Not every doctor's equal, and not every document paper write-up says the same thing.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Adam, you're missing more than 30% of intellectual capacity.
I mean, I can't argue that one. That's for sure. But
he's not a Marine. How dare you?
Oh, come on. He's only missing like 15 to 20 because he's not from that branch of the service.
Oh, shit.
Well, we give
by the
him
way,
a
I
certain
love
amount
all the
because
Marines
he
out
wasn't
there, by
it.
the way.
Says the warrant.
Says the warrant.
Says the warrant. Right.
Okay. No love from our combat arms folks. I understand.
I mean, look, man, we're just jealous because you guys are unicorns. We don't see you ever.
It's true.
Yeah.
Actually, my MOS doesn't even have warrants, so
No, everyone from your MOS would go to flight school.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or logistics.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I know.
Oof. Oof.
Not that if you're in my background and and you're one of those people that you did a bad job, but it was a learning curve.
Yeah.
So
listen, you're either going to be stuck in the motor pool, or you're going to be stuck in a helicopter, and it's how crazy are you?
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely the helicopter.
Yeah.
Definitely
I would
the
be helicopter.
The infantry guys would go anywhere but infantry.
Yeah, it's true.
I remember I was once talking to a neighbor and they were like, we need infantry guys to be door gunners on Chinooks. And I looked at them and I said, why? Why would I want to go do that voluntarily?
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, because when they explained to me that I think it was a Chinook, if it's not leaking on the ground, that means the fluids aren't topped off.
That's okay.
I was good. I mean, I jumped out of airplanes. I didn't need to stay in a Chinook.
Well, I jump out of those too. So
What?
you jump out of those too.
I had a Blackhawk jump.
There you go. So you know.
That was the most terrifying one.
Actually, I think that would be the safest one. I think my most enjoyable jump was out of a Blackhawk.
That was my most terrifying one because that's the one you actually have to physically push yourself out of.
Exactly.
Like you're sitting in the door, and then the jump master taps you on the shoulder, and you physically have to use your arms and push your body out of the Blackhawk, and push yourself hard enough that you avoid the skids.
Yeah. So what you're saying is don't pull a me and hit the skids. Got it.
Yes.
Blackhawk doesn't have skids.
Oh, they don't? No. Then
they have wheels.
Yeah. I don't know. You have to avoid hitting the helicopter.
You just got to push hard enough that your actual pack, the chute doesn't catch on the thing and you go whoop.
Yeah. But either way, you have to push yourself out rather than in a Air Force aircraft, because I refuse to call it a high performance aircraft, especially when you're jumping out of a C-130. You just follow the guy in front of you and just walk out the door, just like anything else.
The C-130 is like a reliable pickup truck. That thing goes and goes and goes. Yes, it does. It's the workhorse of the military.
But Trevor, did you die?
No, I'm physically here.
Listen, what I'm hearing is you didn't have the arm strength to push yourself.
Ooh.
I had the arm strength. I just didn't enjoy that portion of it.
Understood.
I believe you.
So these conversations that we're having, gentlemen, they're going to be fun like this. But what I would like to hear, I know there have been a few people that responded to the surveys that we put out initially for this. But I just saying that you would like to hear this conversation, but I would like to know why. I want to know what kinds of things are you interested in for knuckleheads freaking talking about on social media, for guys that come from, I'm the only non-combat arms guy. I mean, I did some combat stuff, but these guys, I mean, we're all from kind of different backgrounds. We've been doing different things since we got out of the military. Well, what types of, and by the way, if we dig back into it, our transition was not super, what I would consider great at all.
Those are outliers. Those are anybody who had a good transition is a fucking outlier, and I don't care. I don't care if you're one of those. No, I agree with you, JJ, because having done this every day for 2 years, it's really hard to say the same 5 things 150 different ways. And so I genuinely, I speak for myself. I want to help as many of you avoid the mistakes that I made, so you don't have to spend 8.5 years miserable trying to kill yourself. I really genuinely want to know how I can help. What can I do? How can I leverage this platform? I had quite a bit of success with people reaching out, needing jobs, getting jobs offered by the end of the week, hooking people up with, sometimes getting them housing or getting them to rehab, whatever. But I genuinely do want to help as many people as I can. And I really need your help to figure out what that looks like, because I'm just one man and I'm kind of out of ideas. Like Trevor said, I'd lost 30% of my intelligence. So
I think the biggest thing is to start with, when you get out, whether you're retiring, ETSing, whatever the term is, be prepared to take 3 giant steps backwards from what you did in the military. Mm-hmm. Whether that's getting out as an E4 after 4 years, or a field grade or general officer, you're going to have to take steps back for, I'll say, 90% of the people getting out, and be prepared to relearn how to work and what you do.
Yeah. I've been studying this for ever since we started talking about this. I've gone to the local VA over here, and I've been interviewing a lot of the local vets to kind of get their take on their transition. And it seems like the common link is that they lost their sense of purpose. Mm-hmm. And people did not understand them in the civilian workforce. But the other driving factor to a lot of depression after the service is that they weren't ready. I mean, when I say they weren't ready, people, in general, as they transition from the service, they're going from, I mean, unless you served in the National Guard or Reserves, which they have completely different set of transition issues, and by the way, they're just as valid. If it's worth it if you served on active duty and you are around a bunch of National Guard bases or a lot of armories, to talk to some of those people, because their issues are very relevant. But what the other issue that I find that a lot of people have is that they weren't ready, because there's a lot of financial stuff that's just completely different. A lot of people join the military straight out of high school, and we are paid extra when we're in the military for everything outside of our job. We're paid extra if we live in a house. We're paid extra for food. I mean, we have a stipend if we live in an OCONUS zone. It's called COLA. I mean, we just have all this extra money provided to us to make sure that we can focus on our job, and that does not happen in a civilian job that you go to. They hire for, well, let's just say $55,000 a year, and that's minus taxes, and there's nothing else. And when people look at their base pay when they're on active duty, they see that $55,000 a year, or that, you know, that $5,000 a month, whatever the case may be. And they're like, oh man, I can go straight from the military to work in a job that pays me the exact same thing. I'm good. And then they start in that job, and they're at probably about a $30,000 to $40,000 a year deficit almost right off the jump. And that has been one of the hardest things that a lot of people deal with. And outside of these issues, I would love feedback so that we can talk about the stuff that actually matters.
Yeah, to your point, JJ, there's another vet out there who broke the math down. An E5 with, like, I think it's like 9 years in, needs to make about $110,000 a year on the civilian world to compensate for all the other pays that we get as active duty soldiers.
You missed one very important thing there, JJ, when you were talking about the pay, and that is you missed that in the military, healthcare for you and your family is paid for 100%, full stop, everything. When you get out, number one, you're paying for healthcare at a job. And then number two, when you go in for most things, you're paying out of pocket for those too. So it's a significant difference in pay just with the healthcare side alone, never mind anything else that you mentioned.
Well, and that's a big factor. And actually, I see Luke Bistor comment there. I want to say, yes, I actually leveraged a skill bridge opportunity, and I was working my first job out of the Army while I was on terminal leave. So I always advocate for veterans and transitioning service members to go for those skill bridge opportunities, go for the career skills program. Those are valuable. Yes, there's a lot of nuances that go with it, especially with your commands. But if you have that ability to get that opportunity, definitely take it. And I think the DoD Skill Bridge program shoots a 98%, last time I heard, which was in 2024, a 98% higher on rate.
Well, and you got to be careful picking a skill bridge too, because they're not all created equal. And there are some dirty skill bridges out there who are going to bring people, headhunters, that are going to promise you a job, get free work out of you for 3 to 6 months, and then they're going to drop you flat on your face. That's real. That's not made up. I have a partnership with Seven Eagle, so I get to hear all of these horror stories. Seven Eagle is a great skill bridge. Allegiant Vets is out there. I know Thomas McKenzie, he's got a skill bridge program. I forget what it's called, but there's some really good ones out there. So yeah, absolutely should be leveraging skill bridge.
I did Hiring Our Heroes. That was the one I went through.
There you go. The Honor Foundation for you special operators out there, they've got a skill bridge also, I believe.
Yep. I'm pretty sure there's a publisher out there for you Navy SEALs. So, every day.
Oh man, I knew somebody was going to say it.
Hey, I'm just glad it wasn't me.
Well, but back to the point, though. I mean, these are all issues. These are definitely things we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss how to use what we learned in the military and leverage those skills on the outside. We're going to talk about the difference and obviously because we have the background here to do it, the difference between logistics and combat arms, because there is a difference. And we just want to make sure that we're providing a lot of stuff, not just with the transition. So whatever is important, whatever struggles you're going through on the outside of the military, whether you feel like your skills haven't transitioned or you're having an issue out in the civilian workforce with, the jackassery that you used to do and put up with when you were serving in the military, that's no longer tolerated, by the way. All the stuff that goes on in the military, it's just a different culture, different lifestyle, different everything, as what you're dealing with on the outside. But we want to talk about what you guys want us to talk about, not just what we're talking about. So let us know.
Yeah.
So
I want to say one thing, Trevor, I don't want to step on you real quick, but I just want to tell people out there, do not be afraid to reinvent yourself when you transition, right? You are not stuck doing what you did in the military in the civilian sector.
Nope.
And how do I know this? I was combat arms. You see my flag, and I went to building data centers. That was my first job.
Dude, yes, bro. The infantry guy, the AI company, right? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So you guys, you can reinvent yourself and don't be afraid to do it.
It's a requirement. It's not a negotiation. You actually have to reinvent yourself. You have to let go, close the chapter on who and what you were in the military, leave the uniform behind the closet door, whatever that looks like for you, and step into a new role, whatever that looks like to you. And we can talk about all the ways to go about doing that. If you follow me, I talk about my own philosophies. JJ has his own. I'm sure John has his own. I know Trevor kind of subscribes to a variation of all of them. So
Trevor made his own.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things, and I want to say this because I struggled a lot with, even 4 or 5 years after I got out, I was starting a career and doing a lot of different things. And you couldn't have a conversation with me without me mentioning my military service and talking about all that stuff. And what I finally had to do one day was take everything that had to do with the military off the walls, pack it all up in a box, and put it in the closet for 6 or 8 months until I finally was able to disassociate myself from that person. Because if it was out of sight, it became out of mind. And then you find your way back to how you build that person outside of the military as a person, not just the person that used to be in service that still lives their high school glory days as the football captain.
Well, in my job that I ended up getting jobs shortly after I got out of the military. I worked 3 of them, and they were in logistics, and I was in logistics in the military, and there was not one job out there, not one job that was anything like what I did in the military. I mean, that being a warrant officer, you're supposed to be a subject matter expert. Well, mine just so happened to have me dealing with logistics in ground transportation, air transportation, moving stuff by train, moving stuff by sea. And I looked and looked and looked for a job like that, and it didn't exist. And you should have heard the comments during the interviews at some of my first jobs that I applied for that actually took the time to talk to me. They were like, I don't know anybody who's ever done that. Okay. What does that mean? So, I mean, your stuff doesn't always transfer over. So to your point, I would say that you almost have to reinvent yourself, at least to a certain extent. The job that you did in the military, first of all, there's not really a job out there unless you want to just keep your mind in the military and go back downrange and work for a private company or something like that does the stuff that you did in combat arms. And logistics, it's not going to be the same on the outside. I don't care if you were a fueler, if you're a warehouse technician, it doesn't matter what you were. The jobs outside of the military are just not the same. The bond that you have with people is not the same. It's different.
To your point, JJ, I just did a live with Cyber RST. They're creating a pipeline for the IT field for cybersecurity getting out, and what I didn't know, and I've promoted a lot of things with this platform that I think are great, like IVMF, cybersecurity, certification programs, and it's still not helpful because these guys and gals are getting out, and in the cybersecurity world, the DoD/military systems proprietary only to the military. It doesn't exist anywhere else on Earth, so they don't know how to handle real life systems in the civilian world when they get out, and they're being told by TAPS classes and transition counselors or whatever the fuck they're calling them now, that it's going to transfer for them, and then they're struggling to get jobs, and the certifications don't help. It's a waste of time to go get those certifications because they need the actual hands-on, and so it's nice to hear you talk about logistics is kind of one of those things too, because I think this is something that they're not turning people onto when they get out of the military. Just like when Trevor, me, and John got out as combat arms guys, they're like, oh, you guys can go be cops or you can get a security job position. It's like, motherfucker, I don't want to do that. Like why? What? That's a dead end job. Like what is the top of the ladder? The $55,000 a year? Like,
yeah.
Like, so it's really good to hear you bringing the logistics piece into this. And I know all four of our experience is just going to, as we continue to do these and get more good questions, it's just going to be super valuable.
Yeah.
One thing to piggyback off of what Adam said, and John, I know you feel this one too, but project managers, that's the industry that me and John are in. And everybody talks about military as project management. And I've been a project manager for almost 15 years now, and I've worked contracted with the Army and I've worked civilian side, and they are not the same. And when you talk about losing identity, just because I did a job in the Army, and then there's plenty of people that just take off the uniform and do the same job the next day. What they forget to tell you is you're not part of that club anymore once you take that uniform off.
Yep. You
are different as a civilian, and you are treated as such, and that's not always a great thing.
But I am going to say one thing. There actually is one commonality that the military has and the civilian sector, job market civilian sector has. We just kind of said different things about them. But if there's three things employers care about that the military cared about, was people, time, and money, right? So for those kind of like when they're searching through it, you got to think of it like that. Almost think of like when you're thinking your resume and your job search, think about how you would explain your NCOER, but for a job posting, right? Yep. You got to talk to the people, you got to talk to the money, you got to talk to the impact, right? And the times and associated with that. So I don't want it to sound all doom and gloom. Oh, nothing transitions over and this sucks. And yes, it's out of control, but at the same time, there are similarities. You're just kind of, it's like boot camp. You kind of got to figure out the new culture, the new dynamic, the new verbiage, but there's a lot of similarities in there as well. The project management route, that's that mindset that like the Army has everyone's a leader once you become an E5. Now get the F out of here. I know E7s who couldn't lead an angry cat out of a wet paper bag, right? Some people just aren't bred to lead, and that's fine. Same thing with project management. Not everyone's bred and should be managing things.
Here's an exercise that I saw firsthand, and I've worked with a lot of people on, because I think all four of us do a lot of mentoring with people.
Yeah.
When you're talking about take your bullets from your last NCOER or OER and do what I call demilitarize it. Take out any military language and put it into civilian language. Mm-hmm. Well, I was a team leader. I led 5 soldiers in combat operations. Okay, that's great for the military, but what about for the manager that doesn't understand that? Led a team of 5 people to accomplish tasks, blah, blah, blah. When you demilitarize it, it creates a lot more power than what you think it means in the military, because in the military, everybody understands that language. But when you get out, nobody understands that language, even if there are people that are prior military that you're interviewing with, because they don't think in those terms anymore.
Well, and to add to that, it's not just the military language, but it's also the jargon. I highly recommend that you find somebody who has been out for at least a couple, 2-3 years, been working in a job successfully and understands how that experience translates, and sit down with them and just say, this is what I did. how do I say it without sounding like I was in the military? Because you're not gonna be able to do that if you're still on active duty, getting ready to start applying for jobs, and then you're still going through to formation and everything else every day. You're not going to be able to do that without a little bit of outside help.
Well, it's funny you say that, JJ, because remember, I had somebody reach out to me for a conversation, and I got a little bit of background on the person, and they were a mobility warrant getting ready to retire. And I was like, my God, why are you talking to me? Talk, and I called JJ right when I found out about this. I'm like, hey, do you mind if I pass this guy over to you? Because you can tell him how to translate and everything. And it turns out you knew the guy from a previous location.
We served together in Hawaii. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, one thing, and to talking about the translation piece, find somebody who's a civilian, whether that's your spouse, one of your spouse's friends, somebody that knows nothing about the military, and bounce the ideas off of them. Because if they're able to look at you and say, I have no idea what you just said, then you're not on the right track.
Yeah.
And if you don't know somebody, start using LinkedIn, start using Instagram, whatever your platform that you choose is, to meet people outside of the military, because that's how you're going to help yourself get out too, is meeting civilians as they sit.
This is such a good comment. LinkedIn profile lead shows name, rank, and branch. Get rid of that shit. Let that go. Do not do that. Oh, it's so irrelevant.
I'm not supposed to introduce myself by rank and name?
My name is Chief Hardy. What the hell does that mean?
We also, there's two other comments. Tony made a comment. He says he needs to push back on the comments about cyber. His son is Army cyber. ETS is August 26th and already has job offers starting at 180. There's outliers in everything, Tony. The founder of Cyber RST, he applied to like 700 jobs. I may be getting that wrong. It was a lot to get a simple IT help desk job as a cyber guy. So there's outliers in everything. And then Luis Galvez comments. He says, here's the one issue I had with TAP. Some of the TAP instructors were freshly retired or people that got out and that was their first job. Also civilians who have no idea what it means to serve. That was who ran my TAPS classes, and probably, I would imagine, Trevor, John, and JJ's as well. That is a serious concern, man, because those TAP guys will just show up to Waller Hall or whatever. I don't the in processing station, and now they're being a TAP guy, and they were just in uniform the day before. They didn't have any struggle. They didn't do anything to like actually learn what transition is actually like. So I can second that for sure. And we got AI Ready Veteran provides a great AI platform to help the military community navigate. Yeah, Linda, that's actually true. I just had a meeting with them right before the holidays, and some really cool stuff going on with that. Excited to follow up with them and be bringing more of AI Ready Veteran to the platform here.
Well, and there's also Best Military Resume.
Love Brad. Brad's in Japan.
Awesome.
He's got some big plans this year for BMR. I know he's off to a strong start this year with he released the numbers of the jobs that he got people last year. It's just insane, his tool, what he's created with it. And I think he's taken it to the next level. I know he's got partnerships with Skill Bridges. So you guys who are getting out can go to these Skill Bridges. Another guy I want to mention that's in kind of the transition space, Jacob Mousseau. If you're not familiar with him, he's he's out of Fort Campbell. Awesome. He's amazing. He knows a ton of people. He's doing some big things also. I know he's got his own IVMF entrepreneurship program in Nashville now. I'm a beneficiary of that last year in Philadelphia. What a sweet program that was. So encouraging those resources. Anything else you guys can think of?
Watch out for sharks, though, because we speak of all these great resources that are there, but everyone has a cheap imitation copy that's going to try to sell you some BS. And those of you around the Fort Benning area, don't go to that place in Phoenix City. The one that resume writing, they're going to charge you up the wazoo to give you a ChatGPT version that you could have done yourself for free. Don't do it.
Here's a good rule of thumb. The military, I've given talks at Seven Eagle, just like I know Adam has. And one of the things I say is being a part of the veteran community is the biggest secret club that you can be a part of. And if you're unsure of somebody, ask around. The community is large in scale, but it's small in relationships. And I can promise you that if you are asking about some organization that's popular through marketing, somebody you know probably knows somebody who's got experience with it, or somebody you know personally has experience with it, or it's creators. So ask around before you invest.
Mm-hmm.
And
Or DM me. I'll just let you leverage my network because that's what I built the damn platform for.
That's all of us, though.
Yeah.
It's all of us. Yeah. Well,
Seriously.
and I would also say that if somebody is charging an arm and a leg to help you get something that's already accessible through your benefits, be very, very careful. They are benefits. Guess who probably knows about your benefits? The VA, the local American Legions, the DAV, the VFW. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but those are the main ones.
And
so
also the car dealership right outside the gate.
The car dealership right out.
They definitely know about your benefits.
With 20% interest on the
As a matter
used
of
car.
fact, go find Trixie at that club right outside the gate.
Oh,
I bet
boy.
she knows everything.
And be sure you use the payday loan place as well. Make sure that you go take a payday loan.
3 of them.
No.
And don't forget to go to the local Rent-A-Center.
I actually had something relevant to say, but now I've lost it. So whatever. We're just going to move on.
You are
Do you
welcome.
ever have anything relevant
We're
to say?
veterans, man. The
Probably not.
Jackassery is going to
No.
take over, and we're going to forget everything.
Hey,
Hey,
really quick.
listen, the true litmus test, if the place won't take AFES pogs, they're no good.
Oh, man.
I actually still have some of those.
I have a
believe it or
few of
not.
those too.
Hey, really quick before you forget, I want to address one of the comments of where are we located? I'm in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm in Palm Bay, Florida.
I am in a little original German colony in Amana, Iowa.
No one's from Iowa. That place isn't real. I'm from Fredericksburg, Virginia.
It's not real.
That place isn't real.
So not only am I the unicorn, but I live in a place that's not real. Something's wrong with you.
That sounds about
Wait,
right, doesn't it?
Wait, is that where the unicorns go when they're not at PT? They're in Iowa?
Probably.
We found them.
That seems like a good place to hide, right? You've never even heard of it, so.
Hey, my kids still believe unicorns are real.
I
Well,
mean,
JJ's right there.
They did meet me on a call. I'm just saying.
and they have you as a father, Trevor. So
That's just a bad draw.
Yeah.
They have to believe in a lot of things if they have to deal with you every day.
oh man.
Love it.
Well, believe it or not, we are coming up. We've got about 10 minutes till the hour. Goes way faster than I thought it would for idiots talking about veteran issues. Lots of great questions here tonight. What a successful live. This is awesome. Yes, Luis, excellent. American Corporate Partners, is super invaluable for me. Actually, funny story, my mentor is actually running for Congress in the midterms this year in Virginia. And so what an incredible program. Learned a ton from Alex through that program. You say, I was paired with someone who never served and was able to help me prepare for a complete career change. Just about every other sentence, he had to stop me and ask what I meant since I was using a lot of military jargon. It's exactly what Trevor talked about earlier, is take the shit out of it. Luis, if you're in Palm Bay, DM me on LinkedIn, brother. Let's link up in person for real. I love meeting new people in person. It's one of my favorite things ever. So I'd love to shake your hand and buy you a coffee, man.
Yep. Oh, and the ACP, all you transitioning service members, you get it free for a year.
For an entire year, and it's incredible. I had bi-weekly meetings with my mentor for the entire year. I think they really try to cap it at like once a month, but you work it out with your mentor. The things I learned were completely invaluable, and the access to network that I have now, because Alex went and was doing campaign staff stuff and doing some secret squirrel stuff overseas and whatnot, like, and then calls me out of the blue after 8 months and says, hey man, like, this is what I'm doing. Let me know what you need. It's like an open invitation to, some really like powerful doors that I never expected would open for me. So these are all kinds of things that the four of us can talk to you about, teach you about, help you understand how to to do this. I do my best. I'm kind of gifted at it, so I don't really know how to teach it, which is I'm struggling these days. But it really is American Corporate Partners, IVMF, BMR, AI Ready Veteran, Seven Eagle, Legion Vets, Thomas McKenzie, and what he's got going on, Jacob Massot, and there's more. I've left people out that I talk to regularly. For that, I'm terribly sorry. It's just kind of what's coming to mind right now. We've got,
and I've also volunteered. I've done, I think it's 2 or 3 rounds of mentoring through ACP, and as a mentor, and it really is funny, just the small world of the community. And when you think about when you get a mentor, whether it's a vet or not, generally they open their network to you, and they don't volunteer as a mentor because they're bored and they've got extra time to kill. Usually it's the opposite, that they don't have the time, but they make it for people.
Yep. I'm actually still an ACP mentor, so.
Are you actually? You need to help me. I want to give back. I want to be a mentor. I just don't remember what they said the requirements were. I know you got to be a year out of the program, right?
There's a link on their page. I'm looking at it right now that says become a mentor.
Perfect. I'll go fill that out then.
You already qualify. But I still actually talk to my mentor from when I transitioned out.
Here we go. Mission Believe is good for anyone wanting to become beekeepers too. Linda, thank you for that. That's really interesting. I love bees.
Yeah. Linda, I would love for you to connect with me on LinkedIn because I actually want to know more about that.
Yeah, same here, Linda. If you wouldn't mind, DM me as well. I'm kind of curious for my own reasons.
Yeah. Oh no! What does Adam want to know about bees?
I want to know how I can put bees in my backyard here in Florida, so I have pretty flowers.
Okay.
Bee army.
I actually think that everyone that watches this, regardless of whose platform you're already on, should connect with all of us. There's John and I, we both do leadership development stuff. John deals with a lot of corporate. I've dealt with corporate. Trevor deals with a lot of project managers. He has a lot of them. Plus he has his own podcast about it. I have my own about leadership. Adam, I mean, he's Adam. So
look at that beard.
Everybody.
That beard alone just screams.
Yeah, but let's be fair. John is the most grown up of all of us. He's the one legit with legit organizations and actually doing something. So
yeah.
So that set the bar really high. Everyone here just tripped over it. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
you know how to set a goal that you'll never fail at, right?
I mean, listen, I'm a scout. The whole number one thing is how can I blame this on the infantry, and it's no longer my problem.
Yeah, well, that ain't gonna fucking fly, brother.
No, you blame the infantry because you blame the infantry by simply saying, "Well, I'm a scout."
That's what I'm saying. If I blame the infantry, then it's no longer my problem.
Every time I hear somebody say I'm a scout, it's that classic meme pops into my head: the pink cowboy hat and the hoofs on his hands. Have you seen? You know what I'm talking? I know you've seen it.
I got it hanging in the background. Didn't you see before I put my filter up? It's there.
Well, in the logistics world, whenever we have an operation that's not going well, if we say, "Well, we're working with Combat Arms to get this done," they know what went wrong almost immediately.
They're just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, my bad."
Look at this. We got another comment about the bees. Honeybee Democracy is a good book to start you out with beekeeping.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay.
Trevor, I think you've got a lag, brother. That's
you know what I always heard whenever someone would say I'm a scout. No, my internet's been acting weird lately. You know what I always hear people say when they say that they're a scout? We're just like the infantry, but we do more. If you have to compare yourself to another job, to another MOS,
oh no.
Then there is no
I tell
comparison.
people I'm a scout, they're like, "Well, what's a scout?" And I was like, "I'm like the infantry, except I was smart enough to put my shit on a vehicle."
It's kind of true. I can't argue with that one.
You're like the military. You're like the infantry that has to think.
But we can actually settle this right now. John, do you have spurs?
I do, gold and silver.
I don't have gold ones. I can't get gold ones, but I do have silver ones, and I also have a CIB. Where's yours?
I have a CIB.
Exactly. Okay.
Better watch out. That's what happens when you get stuck in the 82nd Airborne.
You're an All-American.
You cannot have a CIB. Yeah.
I can.
It's only awarded to 11 series and 18 series.
Nope, you can earn it. All you got to do.
It's the same with
the. Wait. Trevor's absolutely right. It's not a CIB. It's an EIB. I stand corrected. Trevor is right on this.
There you go.
Let me rewind that. It's an EIB.
Okay, next time we do one of these calls, you have to wear your hat.
Oh, done. Do you want my girl hat or do you want my section?
The Stetson, hands down, the Stetson.
Nobody gives a shit about a drill hat. The Stetson.
Giving options, right? Giving options. That's all I'm saying. Hey, just remember though, I love my infantry guys. They're great, but no one's ever said, help, we need help. Please call in the infantry. It's always help. Call in the cavalry. Just remember that.
I think that's kind of an old adage because you guys used to have horses and could get there faster. Now we all have vehicles and we don't need you.
Hey, I will say this though.
I checked all your vehicles are still in the motor pool because you said something about we're not scouts. We can walk it. We have LPCs, leather personnel carriers.
I was a lazy infantry guy, so I never said that. I took the Strikers and the Bradleys, brother. Put me as close as you can to that bitch because I'm not walking that far.
So it doesn't really matter what branch or anything like that. If anybody really has a problem, they're always looking for a subject matter expert for help. So Chief is always on that senior commander's speed dial.
But you have to know where to find him.
Yeah.
You have to know where to find Chief because they're the unicorn that doesn't exist.
Well, and his hours are 900 to 9:03. Then he's at lunch until 13:05 to 13:33. Then you just got to catch him tomorrow. Oh, and by the way, every Thursday he's got warrant officer training course, so he's not available.
Actually, I just didn't show up until somebody called me. I'm just kidding.
So, fellas, with the little bit of time we've got left, I had a couple people reach out to me via DM on LinkedIn when they found out we were putting this event on. Other veterans who have really great things to say, doing really great things that want to join us the next time we do this. So round robin votes. Anybody against having a fifth guest when we do this next time?
All for it.
Awesome.
All about it.
Ryan,
I would say that if we have a guest, we should have a topic.
We'll have a topic.
What?
Yes. Absolutely.
But
Speaking
why,
of,
why do we need a topic? A place we can divert from?
well, no. So that was actually an intentional segue. So what we'll actually be talking about next time is how military leaders understand civilian work culture. And we're going to talk about that a little bit.
Oh boy.
And you know what? It's going to be interesting. If it goes anything like what this conversation did, it's going to get really, really dark really fast.
Oh, I'm excited.
It's going to be glorious.
It's going to be wonderful.
Well, with that, I think we should wrap it up, fellas. Any final thoughts from any of you?
I just want to make sure that I put out there that please make sure you let us know what conversations that you're having in all of your networks are some of the hardest to gain clarity on. I think we would like to discuss those things. So just let us know. I know this is probably primarily going to be coming in on Adam Peters' platform, but that doesn't mean he's not going to get the comments and pass it on to all of us. So please make sure you're letting us know this conversation is not just for us, because good Lord, none of us wants to put up with Trevor any more than we have to. But
Guilty.
So, but we are here talking about these things for all of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, I definitely want to echo that. Like, I do. It's my equipment that we're using to put this on, so naturally it just connected to my platform. But each one of these guys has their own individual platform that is worthy of following and paying attention to. So please go do that. They're doing incredible work, or else obviously I wouldn't be here with them. I want to thank every single one of you who tuned in tonight, who actually commented and engaged with us, told us what you wanted. I've been doing this for a long time, and this is definitely one of the most successful lives I've run. So thank you, fellas, for actually helping this become the most successful one I've done. That is not lost on me. It means a lot to me. And thank all of you for making this successful. Thank you for seeing the value in what we're trying to do here. Even a couple civilians have texted me and are actually learning as outsiders from what we're talking about. So I don't think anything could have gone better here tonight. I thank everybody for tuning in. I thank you fellas for actually wanting to do this, for showing up tonight, bringing the heat, and just being some dumb Army dudes who just care about our community and want to help. So with that, we'll see you guys, in about a month? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we're not going to do it exactly a month from now. We're going to have to figure out what that day is going to be. But if you tune in wherever you're seeing this right now, there will absolutely be a notification for you to be able to tune in.
Absolutely. Take
Yep.
care, everybody. Thanks again, and we'll see you in about a month.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good one.